The Alpine Car Rally, principally run in the forests of northeast Victoria, is a classic Australian motorsport event. The 1990 rally, the 49th to be run, will be chiefly remembered for three things. Firstly, the absolute domination of Mitsubishi. Galant turbos filled the first four places. Secondly, the great winning drive of the superbly talented George Fury. And thirdly, well, this event will now occupy a treasured place in Australian sporting folklore because of the incredible second-day incident which took out the highly fancied Rally Art Mitsubishi entry of Ross Dunkerton and Fred Gacentis. This incident made an extremely powerful statement about the tremendous stresses and strains that an event of this nature places on both man and machine. Saturday's Alpine Rally stages were conducted around Beechworth, Stanley, Myrtleford, Bright and Tallangatta. Mixed forest country, a variety of roads, a lot of interesting corners like this one here. After the preliminary jousting of the day before on the drive from the start in Melbourne to northeast Victoria, this was the beginning of the rally proper. Dunkerton and Gacentis were defending a lead of 16 seconds from Fury and Runnels, who in turn were just 1 second ahead of Ordensky and Nelson. As they prepared to enter the Mansions Road Beechworth stage, Dunkerton and Gacentis were acutely aware that their lead was slowly being chipped away by Fury and Runnels.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Ross Dunkerton is a multi-Australian Rally Championship winner, but the Alpine prize has always eluded him. Fred Gacentis had successfully navigated four other drivers to victories in 1971, 77, 79 and 1980. The talented pair were determined to translate their Asia-Pacific Rally Art success to the Alpine. But to win, that meant defeating George Fury, who was equally determined to shut them out. Dunkerton and Gacentis were confident their latest specification Mitsubishi Galant VR4 would overwhelm the opposition. These high-technology video pictures reinforce the fact that championship rally cars are pounded unmercifully. Any car which wins an event as tough as the Alpine wins well.
Fred, can you tell us what the conditions are like on the first three legs so far?
The first section was pretty slippery. Oh, it's not slippery, but it wasn't too bad, but the second stage, the first part was fairly rocky, but then the last sort of 4 Ks was very, very slippery. Red clay was very, very slippery. And this one was also very slippery, very stone in places, and there was one crest up here about a K back which was quite tricky.
At the end of the stage, Fury had broken well clear of Ordensky and taken another 2 seconds off Dunkerton. It seemed as if he was on a roll. But nothing's predictable about this incredible sport, and the second-place Galant soon stared disaster in the face. Not long after leaving the control to begin stage 8, Fury almost put the car on its side. It seems as if even the super-skilled can make mistakes. Amazingly, he lost no time to Dunkerton. But more was to come. Fury then got a flat right rear tyre. He pressed on regardless because to change the tyre on the side of the road would have cost him dearly time-wise. He dropped 43 seconds on the stage, which extended the gap to the leading Rally Art car to over a minute. Fury then faced an uphill battle to get back on level terms with Dunkerton. On stage 9, the pendulum swung the other way with absolute savagery. This is 3 Mile track, just off the main road that runs between Beechworth and Myrtleford. 50 metres back down there, this is where Ross Dunkerton and Fred Gacentis quit the 1990 Alpine Rally under extraordinary circumstances. The blow, when it came, was quick and it was cruel.
And they're waiting for the cars to come, and all of a sudden he came from down that direction, and we just looked up and he was up, hit the bank, on his side, over, right over, and then on his wheels. The car was still going, and he still wanted to keep going.
Did you run straight across?
Yeah, we ran straight up to him to make sure he was okay. He was okay. He sort of said, let's get going, you know, but he was still wanted to keep going.
Didn't obviously realise the car was so badly damaged.
So we had to pull him off the track, and then George Fury come through as we were pulling him off the track.
Did anybody wave George down?
Well, they waved him down to slow him down because he was right over the track, and we didn't know what was happening. They didn't know whether anyone was hurt or anything.
Are you okay?
Yes, we're okay, not a problem.
The car is very badly damaged. It's a big one.
It was a big one, yes. But we weren't going very fast. We were going pretty conservative. We were in front by 1 minute 10 seconds. Service over. This is Freddie. We've just had the big roll. We're 3k's into the stage, if you can hear us. We're on 6 Mile Creek Road. Over.
Well, this is what, a $100,000 motor car that's junk?
Well, it is, and it's got to be rebuilt to go overseas. And as I said, that's one of the reasons that I wasn't.
Can it be rebuilt?
The boys have got the expertise to do it. They do some pretty wondrous things, and they'll have it running in a couple of weeks, I would expect.
Amazing.
Certainly is, but it goes to show the strength of the motor car because there's completely no damage to us, and we tried to keep going, but I think there's pipes come off the engine and the wheels wouldn't go around.
What will the boss say, Freddie? What will the boss say?
We shouldn't be laughing, should we?
The totally unexpected crash elevated the Fury and Runnels Gallant into a lead they were never to lose. No crew likes to see fellow competitors strike misfortune, but they all accept the possibility that it could happen to them just as easily and just as brutally.
Well, after George went through, we pulled the other car down, and we all sort of stood around and thought it was pretty bad, and Ross is counting his losses. Then all of a sudden the Toyota come through because the other people forgot to wave him down. He just come that quick, and he mounted the trees, and the tree fell on the car and broke the windows and stuff, and they're still down there trying to fix it.
What did you think when you got out and you saw that the Mitsubishi had gone as well? Must have been a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I think it's real evidence that maybe the corner should have been called if people as experienced as Ross are going off.
And Ross was saying that had George not been flagged down, George Fury, he could have well had the same problem.
Well, I think that's exactly right. Every car that wasn't flagged down hit the bank like we've been flagging all the cars down, but there was one car they didn't flag down which also did the same, so it's...
Hell, bad luck.
Sure is. That's rallying nuts.
Fury charged on. He'd also yet to win an Alpine and was determined to make up for past failures. In the remaining 11 Saturday daylight stages, Fury set the fastest time on 10 and shared equal fastest time on the other. He was 4 minutes and 37 seconds clear of the field, and there was no real sign that anyone would be able to catch him. The special night stages were now approaching. Special stage on the Bright Speedway. Fury was again fastest by 3 seconds from the Creeman and Carla Gallants. Patella's Mazda was a further second away. Day or night, Fury seemed uncatchable. So far, Fury's rally, except for the minor scare in the Stanley plantation earlier in the day, had been close to perfection. The car would be fully checked over before venturing out onto the first night forest stage.
So it doesn't really pay to be confident, but
You've got a good gap though, haven't you?
we've got a handy sort of lid.
What is it?
Oh, I'm not
About 4 minutes?
About 4.5 minutes,
Yeah.
something like that. So, you know, that's pretty handy. So,
Can you afford to...
we'll try and, you know, you can only slow down so much, or else you sort of stop concentrating.
So what you're saying is it's very important for you to keep that mental pressure right on yourself tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe not go real hard, but try and concentrate all the way.
Thanks, Nick.
As he began the first Porpunka stage in light rain, Fury was under no real pressure. At first, the pattern seemed unchanged. Then, without warning, he dropped 2 minutes 35 seconds. The car lost boost kilometres from service help, and Fury had to rig a repair to get him to the end of the stage where mechanics were waiting. On Sunday morning, the parking bays on either side of the road which leads down to the Lake Hume retaining wall were scenes of feverish activity. The cars had driven straight into overnight impound from the old Tolangata Bathanga stage. They were released at 6:45, which meant service crews had 1¼ hours to carry out any essential repairs. For the crew of the leading Fury Gallant, this meant adjustments to the turbocharger controls which had malfunctioned in the Porpunka forest. Fury still had a comfortable lead on the Ordinsky Gallant, but he had no way of knowing he and his crew were in for a tough and trying day. Jamie, just what was it that you fixed?
The wastegate on the turbo. We had to replace it because the other one failed yesterday. We did a small repair on it to make it last the night, and that was, we had to replace it this morning.
So there's a complete new unit in the car?
Yep.
And you've got no doubts it'll get through to the finish?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it will.
You do prefer not to have anything to sort of upset you and put you off your stride, but it's part of rallying to be able to get a car to the finish, you know, and
to win you must finish.
To win you must finish.
Fury was in real trouble as he started the first forestry section on the final day of the Alpine Rally. The car was down on power as it started the long climb back to the vast Stanley pine plantation. The engine management system was being plagued by electrical interference and no one could work out why. Patella was now pressing hard. He was well aware of Fury's problems and he clawed back 39 seconds over just a few kilometres of this early Sunday section. Patella was sensing an upset victory. Fury's lead was now looking distinctly vulnerable. Not only was he slipping back on the road, but valuable service time was being eaten up as his crew desperately sought the source of the problem. It was a gripping struggle, the confident young challenger and the seasoned veteran. Under normal circumstances, Fury's Gallant would have powered away from the Mazda with ease. Now the contest was equal, and Fury was using every grain of hard-won experience to limit the loss of time. It was gritty, fascinating stuff. The spectators were soon aware that Fury was under great pressure. At the Fletcher's Dam viewing area, Patella was a little ragged and obviously close to the limit. Fury was still impressively smooth, but the car was struggling.
Going very fast at all. George clearly got some sort of technical problem there.
So the field raced on, an intriguing mix of well-budgeted seasoned professionals and enthusiastic amateurs, all of them in private struggles against the clock. The well-organised Alpine Rally is immensely popular with competitors, service crews and officials. It also attracts thousands of spectators who never fail to get close-up views of hard-working cars and their crews. Fury raced on. He was now close to Myrtleford and a major service point where mechanics were waiting, determined to clear the problem slowing the car. complexion of the Alpine Rally changed dramatically when rain swept into the Ovens Valley. Roads which the day before had been mostly dry and in some places extremely dusty were suddenly transformed. In the slippery conditions, different driving skills were required. The Karla Tolcha Galant, which had worked its way up to fourth behind Fury, Ordinsky and the Patella Mazda, had a severe run-in with a tree after sliding off a road. By this stage, 13 cars had retired. In all, 20 out of 54 would fail to last the distance. Fury was also in trouble. The car had developed an obscure electrical problem. His service crew couldn't work out what it was. As the day wore on, Fury became increasingly frustrated that his iron-like grip on the rally was loosening. As the cars headed for the final Sunday service point here at the Myrtleford Showgrounds, with just 3 stages still to go, this was the position. Patella had forged his way past Ordinsky to grab second spot and was threatening to close on Fury. The leading Galant service crew realised that if they didn't find a reason for the electrical problem here, they would most likely lose the rally. As the rain tumbled down, this was a place of great tension.
Turbo cooler.
The action was furious. The mechanics fell on the car. In the end, it proved to be annoyingly simple. A loose lead. Another lesson learned by a crew who were entitled to feel rather annoyed by it all.
It was an electrical problem. We just stumbled on it and we fixed it. And let's hope we continue on.
What it meant was that George just couldn't get full power.
Yes, every time the boost would come up, a message would go to the computer and would cut the engine. It was a boost-related problem.
Because when he went through one section where we were, the car sounded very old.
Yeah, very old. Yeah, it would only do about 5,000 revs and about half a bar of boost, which is not a lot of power.
And the guy in second was getting close?
Eric, no, he's had problems too. So fortunately, we're maintaining a bit of a gap there. So.
Good. Okay, thanks very much. Right. Well, you just told something else.
You need to shift the normal.
Well, you're very close to George. He's almost in sight. What, 2 minutes ahead, which isn't a lot.
Ahead, yes.
And he's having problems.
Yes,
What
I
do you
think we
think?
started to a bit over 3 minutes behind him this morning. We've got a minute off him, but I don't know whether there's going to be enough kilometres to pull him back.
Well, we've just heard that they believe they have fixed their problem, but does that mean that you'll still have a go this afternoon?
Oh, we'll have a go, yes. It's you've got to try your best.
It's getting close. How do you feel?
A bit worried, really. It's as long as it hangs together and I do the right thing and Ross does the right thing, I think we're sort of looking good.
That misfire hasn't come back?
No, the misfire is good, and we've reconnected the wastegate, so we're getting a bit more power. So hopefully it'll all hang together.
You're about to go. We'll leave you to it. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Just out of Beechworth, and Fury and Runnels wait to launch themselves into the second last section of the Alpine Rally. But the Galant is now running perfectly. Just a few tantalising kilometres lie between the crew and a victory they richly deserve. Yes, to win, you must first finish. The cars journeyed from the forest above Yakandanda near Beechworth to end the rally at a special stage held here at the Wodonga Stock Route. Fury would be fastest. Of the 40 stages conducted during the 3 days of competition, he won 24. After more than 1,000 kilometres, he beat Ordinsky by 6 minutes, 13 seconds. Galant's also filled third and fourth places after the Patella Mazda was excluded for time infringements. So, what's it all mean? Rallying is a tough automotive proving ground. The accomplishment of Mitsubishi was considerable. George Fury and his navigator Ross Runnels fought back from potential disaster to record a resounding victory. Although the prime rally cam was witness to the incredible crash, which on the second day outed the leading rally art car, on the third day it was able to watch a master driver at work. The 1990 Alpine Rally truly belonged to George Fury.